Hello and welcome to Peace News Now. We are live this Tuesday evening. It's June 17th, 2014, and I'm broadcasting from Keene in the Shire, where exciting things are happening. There was a news crew today taking some video of Robin Hooding, activism, and chalking in the square. We'll talk about that. Plus, CopBlocker.org reports about a new type of way to celebrate the 4th of July. We'll talk about that activism. We'll be joined by a special guest, Dio of CopBlocker.org and the Greater Cleveland CopBlock organization. He was on the news recently for being cited for neutralizing a DUI checkpoint. He's got some tips for us about how you can participate in cop blocking and change hearts and minds by using your video camera and your creativity. You can call into the show and share your activism with us. The number is 443-424-8347. And that number spells out Hi-Fi Civ Dis, as in civil disobedience. You can also Skype into the show at PeaceNewsNow. That's all one word. And that is the best way to join us on the program. You can also chat and interact with me and other listeners at PeaceNewsNow.com/live. That's where you'll see live video of the show as well as a chat room or just audio if you want to listen that way. That's the link to share around with your friends. And I look forward to seeing your thoughts and comments, questions there. Let's get started with CopBlocker.org, the first article, 4th Amendment of July. This is a nationwide event. So hello everyone, I'm Ashton Woolen from Georgia CopBlock, and knowledge is power. On the 4th of July, we celebrate freedom, America, and things that go boom. But also on this day, and the weekend of, copious amounts of checkpoints, speed traps, and other policing will be all out in full force. This is the exact opposite of what we are supposed to be celebrating. We should not have to be stopped and treated as guilty until we prove our innocence when we've committed no crime. The plan for the 4th and the rest of that weekend is to get every cop block, cop watch, and other allied groups out there to film the police and exercise your rights. If you just follow this CopBlock main page, check out the list of groups near you that you can contact and hopefully get together. If you don't follow or have any local groups near you, grab some friends and family and go out on patrols or start a group. There are links at CopBlocker.org. The main target for this event is checkpoints. But in the lucky 11 states that made checkpoints illegal, there are many other goals for the weekend. And he's got a list of things that you can do that is just terrific activism to consider planning for the 4th. And it's time to start planning because it's going to be here before you know it. 1, film yourselves going through checkpoints, flexing your rights. You could also have signs and stand down from checkpoints, warning fellow citizens about it. You could stand along checkpoints and film the police happenings. Record any traffic stop you see and gather information about it. Try to talk to both the Leo and the detainee. That's not something I recommend, but that's something that this author recommends. The reason being, I don't interact with police. I just want to film them so long as I'm not calling out to them or engaging in any conversation. I see no reason why they would engage me, so I just want to live and let live. I'm just going to be there to be a fly on the wall, record what's happening, and hopefully just be ignored by the law enforcers. I'm not trying to change their hearts and minds in that moment. Maybe later they'll see the video, they'll see my arguments, my ideas, but not in that moment. It's a high-pressure situation already. I don't recommend engaging with the Leo or the detainee. You can use signs to warn others of speed traps, and don't forget, flashing your headlights is court-approved protection under the First Amendment. So you can flash your headlights to warn other people of speed traps. It's kind of a cool idea. If you see a cop on the side of the road, maybe you pull up ahead of him and then let everyone know, the people who are coming towards the cop, let him know that he's coming. Or let them know that they're about to walk into a speed trap or drive into one. You could save people tickets or even time in jail just by flashing your headlights. And it is court-approved, protected First Amendment speech. You walk around and talk with the public, hand out flyers and business cards, and CopBlock.org has excellent resources where you can print some of your own or you can buy some from the CopBlock store. So, there's plenty of time before the 4th of July. Get your materials now. You can take pictures in your CopBlock gear or just explain what you're doing and post to social media. Probably many of you already do that. Download and use the Waze app, W-A-Z-E, to mark police, checkpoints, or other road hazards. This people can do any day of the week. It doesn't need to be the 4th of July. If you're not familiar yet with Waze, it's an app very much like Google Maps, with the significant difference that it's a social app. You can engage with other people who are using the same app, mark where police or checkpoints are. You can even take pictures of them so that people can see, oh, the cop is hiding in the bushes, and here's your picture so they know he's coming up. This is going to save people from interactions with police. And for most people who hear that, oh, what's the big deal interacting with police? You move along, you show them your papers, nothing to hide, no big deal. But for those of you who have had interactions with police that are not consensual, you may want to spread around this Waze app. It's a helpful way to let other people know that there is a thug around. If the means and technology is available, consider using a green beam laser or a quadcopter to leverage your presence. This is a cool idea, although the quadcopter recently had a bit of a hang-up in Michigan, where if you check out photographyisnotacrime.com, their blog reports about a man just yesterday who was cited for using a quadcopter in the park just to take some video. Plus, some activists here in New Hampshire have used a green beam laser to broadcast messages up onto any building or bridge, any overpass where the police are doing a checkpoint. You can let people know like a mile ahead of time, hey, there's going to be a checkpoint up ahead. Turn around. And it's just light. That's not illegal. You can cast a laser and broadcast your message. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's protected free speech. You can share this post, the one at copblock.org, about the 4th Amendment of July, the nationwide event, and post another closer to the date. You can leave a comment to this post or email the author at georgiacopblock@gmail.com with additional ideas on how we can have a bigger impact. She says, we need a big show of force out there and have everyone participate. I don't know, but the show of force is in air quotes there, so it's a peaceful show of force. The next step is publicity. Try to upload videos and photos the night of the 4th or early on the 5th. Share with local CopBlock and CopWatch groups. Submit stories to the CopBlock site. And, most importantly, contact local news, media, and radio. You can have the biggest impact where you are. Note, person or crew who uploads and shares to copblock.org/submit the best video of their 4th Amendment of July activities by July 11th will receive 75 FRNs worth of their choice of gear and free shipping from the copblock.org store. Over the past few weeks, I've contacted every CopBlock and CopWatch group to get participation for this event, and at least half have responded with enthusiastic support. So if you're an admin in one of these groups, check the other tab in your message box. You may have gotten a message from this Georgia CopBlock organizer. You can Facebook notify him about your plans for exercising your 4th Amendment rights to be secure in your person, your papers. We'll talk about more ways to peacefully resist when we come back.
Mind Things, an online game that pits you against people around the world to mind.
And rock on, everyone who's listening along on YouTube. We are on a break at the moment, but you can interact with other listeners at PeaceNewsNow.com/live. That's where we've got a chat room built into the webpage. We're soon to be joined by Michele 7, aka Bitcoin Bell. She's got some news that she wants to bring to us about Bitcoin in the Beltway, an event that's happening this week, or yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's happening this week. Oh my gosh, look at the calendar. So I won't be able to make it, but she's got some exciting news. Christoph Atlas, members of the Bitcoin group and the World Crypto Network will all be in attendance. I know MK Lords of Bitcoin Not Bombs is going to be there, Davi Barker of ShinyBadges.com. So it's a huge event, one of the biggest so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the reports on it. Plus, PorkFest is coming up soon, so lots of excitement. We'll be broadcasting Peace News Now from PorkFest, so look forward to that, and you can make this show possible by sponsoring Peace News Now. Since our inception, we have only accepted cryptocurrency as our funding method. We do not accept the king's dollars. So the way to do that is to go either to donate.peacenewsnow.com and see the QR codes that are presented there for you, or just look on your screen now. I am presenting to you Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Feathercoin, and Namecoin, different ways that you can donate to make Peace News Now continue. So thanks so much for all of your support. We will return after this.
LRN.FM. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. Do you love coffee as much as I love coffee? Here's a delicious way to drink the best of the best coffee and make a difference one cup at a time. We've partnered with Camano Island Coffee Roasters to offer BuzzBox coffee, and you can try a pound for free. All you do is cover shipping. It's organic, shade-grown, top 1% Arabica grade. 10% of future purchases help our efforts to give the gift of human freedom through at least 100 microloans via World Vision. For more information, go to coffee.freetalklive.com.
If you can't listen to the Liberty Radio Network's internet streams, free satellite channel, or radio affiliates, no worries. You can listen to LRN.FM from any phone, anywhere. Add this number to your phone, 213-493-0309. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The Liberty Radio Network listen lines are locked into our stream 24 hours a day. Call 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Badavi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Listen to LRN.FM on any phone, anytime. 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
Welcome back. You can call in 443-424-8347 or Skype Peace News Now. Hey, remember those cops who blew up a baby while they were looking for drugs? Well, they need your support. A rather disheartening Facebook page has popped up in the last couple of weeks out of Habersham County, writes the author at thefreethoughtproject.com. Habersham County happens to be the place where a SWAT team raided the house in the middle of the night, looking for a man who sold $50 worth of meth. During the raid, an overzealous SWAT member threw a flashbang grenade into the crib of Baby Boo. Baby Boo is still in the hospital in critical condition, and the Sheriff's Department is not only defending their actions, but now they're asking for the support of people in the county. Yes, this is how out of touch your local police department is, Habersham County. They actually are holding a rally to allow community members to, quote, show their support. They're quickly and diligently deleting all negative feedback, but we, at thefreethoughtproject.com, are encouraging our readers to peacefully express their discontent with the department, or satirically, as seen in the screen cap below, and I'll share that with some of our viewers at home and read it for the audio-only audience. I support Habersham County Sheriff Joey Terrell is the Facebook page. I owe you only non-aggression writes, hell yeah, I totally support your actions on that night. You gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet, right? Who cares about the mutilation of a baby when you're going to protect the society from people who want to do drugs? You keep the county safe from that drug residue, and you only had to blow up one innocent baby. Silly individuals think they have a right to their own bodies. Ha! I think we should start applying the death penalty to anyone who uses drugs, especially children. We should make alcohol illegal, too, and start locking up those darn drunks. Hell, let's ban everything except the government-issued cheese while we're at it. That should keep the brave men and women in uniform who blow kids to bits with flashbangs busy for a while. We could just rename the war on drugs to the war on arbitrary substance or product that the state deems illegal. This is excellent. And then some of the other comments from posters on Facebook don't even realize the satire that's happening. But this is the perfect place to express your opinion right on the support page. This is peaceful. This is a great way to get your message across. And oh, there's an update. Since this story was published, the support page has received so much negative feedback that it has been pulled. For all those who voiced their opinion on the Habersham County Sheriff, kudos. They will not soon forget the hundreds of comments and posts on that page. Ooh! What's this? Update 2? The page is back up. It appears to be allowing comments for the time being. Well, you heard it here. You can go support the Habersham County Sheriff Joey Terrell over on Facebook and keep your comments funny. If you've got some satire in your blood, send your message over to PeaceNewsNow or send a screen cap of it so that I can share it on the next episode of this program. I think satire is one of the most powerful ways to change hearts and minds. A lot of people are quick to opt for violence when they feel out of control, but it's worth taking a breath, taking a step back, and making your argument humorous. Because humor, it can get to the people who even disagree with you. Everyone loves to laugh. So even though these criminals, these people in the Habersham County Sheriff's Department who flashbang grenaded a baby's face apart are completely evil for what they've done, I still want to reach them, show them that what they're doing is evil, instead of just pointing fingers or having violence escalate on each side. The cycle of violence has to end somewhere. So do it with comedy. Speaking of the cycle of violence and how it's ending, I'm reminded how much violence exists in our society. Although I feel like most people listening have a peaceful existence. They don't interact with fists with their friends and neighbors. Most of society isn't that way, unfortunately, and that's the reality right now. And to ignore that would be stupid. So let's face that and take the world that we've got. The reason I bring this up is because a Pittsburgh cop recently punched on camera a gay, and I shouldn't laugh, I apologize. So the Pittsburgh cop punched a gay teen in the stomach at a gay pride parade multiple times on camera. This is what he thought was the right thing to do, holding her by her hair and punching her in the stomach. I've got the video. I'm going to share it with you. But I want to talk about not just his actions, but hers. There's an argument to be made that she was provoking violence, not from the cop, but from another man. Here's the video. And I apologize in advance for the language. Okay, so now what's happening is a lot of screaming. There's a man who is from a religious organization, and he is up on a pedestal. He is using a megaphone, and he's broadcasting his message of anti-homosexuality. That's fine, free speech, great place to do it, a pride parade. If anyone is willing to listen, or if anyone needs to hear your message about how homosexuality is wrong, it's a big group of gays. So nothing wrong with this guy broadcasting his message, but this girl has a big problem with it. She's inciting violence. Listen to her words.
That's what happens if you let homosexuals in the church. They molest little boys. That's what they do. Those little perverts. And there's no limit to their sin. They won't draw the line to children. If they think it's okay.
So they have the exchange of ideas. They're saying that there are pedophiles in the church, that the pedophiles have molested children. And then she says, yep, she wants to drop kick him. She wants to kick the pedestal out from under him. And there's a police officer standing beside her the whole time as she's continually making these threats. Now, they're just threats. She doesn't actually put a hand on him. She doesn't actually kick anything out from under him. But here's where the officer is about to grab the young lady. And you tell me, is this justified? This happened in Pittsburgh, in a crowd of about 50 people. And the video just froze, so we'll try and get that back. Here it is.
Use a pen when you write on a piece of paper, right? God used man as instruments of his will. Just like God's not preaching to you here today, it's a man standing here preaching to you. God did not, God.
We'll finish up this video when we return. Plus, we'll be joined by special CopBlocker Dio of CopBlock.org. He's got a special story about how he was cited for neutralizing a DUI checkpoint. Plus, he has tips for us about how we can do the same. Hopefully, we don't get cited. This is PNN.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
This is the Central Scrutinizer. I steal your labor by force through taxation.
My job is to spy on you and keep you from hearing things like the Freedom Fiends. I especially do not want you to
torrent Freedom Fiends episodes to keep them drone-proof. Do not go to freedomfiends.com and click on the torrent link and learn how to torrent Fiends archives. Do not go to freedomfiends.com
and click on the torrent
link and learn how to torrent Fiends archives. Do not go to
freedomfiends.com and click on the torrent
link and learn how to torrent Fiends archives.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs,
I wouldn't shop there.
Hello?
Hey, Dio, how's it going?
What's going on, Derek J?
Not a whole lot. So we are on a commercial break at the moment, and we're going to return in about 90 seconds. So grab whatever water or whatever you need. You sound good? How you holding up?
Yeah, good.
Good. All right, well, hang tight, stand by. We'll be right back.
Sure.
Photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.lrn.fm. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit the Liberty Radio Network when you shop at Amazon via shop.lrn.fm.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com.
You can interact with other LRN listeners in our message board at forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Peace News Now. You can dial in Peace News Now on Skype. We're joined by Dio. He joins us from the greater Cleveland Cop Block and all of Ohio Cop Block, pretty much. You've been all over the place there, haven't you, Dio?
That's the greater Cleveland Cop Block, just like the Ohio State University.
Ah, I see. I got it. All right. Excellent. Well, how are you holding up today?
We're doing pretty good, and I'm tired. I've been doing interviews all day because of this checkpoint bullshit, so...
Well, tell us about it. You were cited recently in Cleveland for neutralizing a checkpoint. What were you doing?
I had a sign that I have been using for the past 2 years that says, checkpoint ahead, turn now. And on the other side it says, badges don't grant extra rights. And then, you know, like I show the checkpoint ahead sign to the citizens, and whenever a cop drives by, I flip it around so they see the badges don't grant extra rights side. So I was out there, corner of State and Brook Park in Parma. They were having a checkpoint at State and Tuxedo, which is about a half mile up the road. And I was standing there holding my sign, and I was approached by Lieutenant McCann and a James Manzo, who came up and told me that I had to take the turn now portion off my sign. The sign being permanent marker and, you know, one piece, that was not an option. They said they were going to cite me for it. They said that the checkpoint was for education purposes and that the people had to drive through the checkpoint to be educated. And I just had to laugh at that and told them, go ahead and do what you got to do. They turned around about a half an hour later, wrote me a ticket, and said they had to take the sign for evidence. Lieutenant McCann was standing there the whole time taking pictures of me holding the sign, so what the hell they needed the sign for? I don't know. They needed it to make sure that I wasn't interrupting their revenue stream any longer. That's what they needed it for.
And about how long have you been doing cop blocking like this? You said you've had the sign for 2 years. Have you been doing this much longer?
Yeah, pretty much since September of 2012 when I got arrested blocking my first checkpoint ever. It was the first time I ever cop blocked anything, and I had a pocket knife hanging on my pocket. And I was arrested for having a concealed weapon, and the whole point was just the same as the point was the other night, was just to get me off the corner so that people didn't be turning away from the checkpoint and stuff, so that they could go through and everything. And the officer, the first time, his name was O'Grady. I posted the story, and I posted my version, and I typed out word for word the police report that he wrote. As far as that goes, like way back in 2012 for CopBlocker.
Why did you do that? Why did you type up his police report?
Because I wanted to make sure that, this is what he said, this is what I said. I didn't have a camera at the time because it was, like I said, it was my first time cop-blocking anything. I had my phone, and my phone was a piece of junk, so it kept on rebooting, and I went to go reach in my pocket to get it, and it was rebooting when the cop pulled up, so I didn't have any way to record it.
Man.
And the bastard took liberties.
Yep.
So, man. Ever since then, they lit a fire under my ass, and here I am.
Well, what sort of ways have you prepared yourself for police interactions? The first time it didn't go so well. Happens for a lot of us. And then what? What did you do next?
Oh, I got way better camera equipment now, so...
Just camera equipment, or do you do a live stream thing, or what sort of gear do you use?
The way I kind of feel about it is like this. I don't put any, I don't have like a password lock on my phone. So if I'm trying to use like Bamboozler or something like that, some cop is going to figure it out anyway and turn it off. At which point, whether it's Bamboozler live streaming or whether it's just a camera, either way I'm losing the feed. So unless I got something else running at the time, I just don't feel like I should be using it, but I just don't, because I just don't. I feel I'm fucked either way.
Why? So, come on, man. You know how live streaming works. Once the cop steals the phone, it's still on the internet. It's already on. It's already online.
But if he stops the program from running, then it stops the feed. There's nothing else to have on there. So that at that point, you're still in his hands. So.
Yeah, but at least he got something. Imagine if it were just a regular video camera and he takes it, then you've got nothing online.
Ain't nobody didn't taking my camera. They're not getting my camera away from me.
Hey, well, it's happened to other people. Why wouldn't it happen to you?
Well, because I'm not going to let them take my camera away from me. All these cops around here especially know that it's me and that it's a camera. So there's no excuse. There's no, oh, it's a gun, it's a this, it's a that. I don't go out there goading them into anything, so I just go out there and film what they do, and if they do something, I get it. That's all.
So what sort of personal interactions do you have with the police? You say they know you. Do you see them on the streets? Do you wave at them? Do you say hello?
Yeah, basically. Because when I first started doing it and stuff, after I got arrested and everything like that, and then, subsequent trial and all that stuff, and being forced to take a plea and being on probation, once I got off probation, I went to go see the captain over here at Parma Police, and I told him, look, this is my name, this is what I do, this is a camera, leave me the fuck alone. Okay, and up until the other day, we've been, having kind of a rapport. There's a couple officers on Parma Police Department that, we kind of, hi Doug, how's it going? Yeah, how you doing? That kind of thing. But, there are some people on there that are just bad people. That's all. This guy James Manzo that gave me the ticket. He just was in a lawsuit. He settled the lawsuit. The city settled with a family because he hit some kid in the back of the head with his flashlight. And then when the investigators found the blood, they were like, well, where'd this come from? And he's like, the kid hit his head.
Oh, jeez.
He was fully intending to lie about the incident in court.
Right. But was there any video evidence to prove that he was a liar?
He got the city settled with the family, so he must have been. He must have had some kind of something.
Wow. Wow. Well, it's unfortunate whenever that happens, but I'm glad to see that there was at least some kind of justice. Hey, Dio, you've got kind of an edge about you, and I'm wondering if your interactions with police have been better because of that edge. I think they sort of speak that language, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're sort of tough, and you're a tough guy, too. So
I would call me a tough guy, but my wife calls it my delivery, so that's where we're at with that. Yeah, I'm like, it's just the way I talk. I type how I talk how I talk. I don't pull no bullshit on anybody, and I don't expect anybody to pull no bullshit on me, because you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Well, people have criticized me and my activism for appearing too weak and for provoking the cops to aggression because, I'm an easy target. Would you say that you recommend people carry a chip on their shoulder, or just be them?
Just be yourselves. It works for me. It's not going to work for you. It might. Well, I mean, I don't know. It might work for you. It might not work for you. I don't know. But
Yeah.
you know, it's up to you whether you want to try it or not. I just like I said, as far as I've seen enough shit in my life to say that I'm done with political correctness, and I'm calling a spade a spade. So if you are an N-word or you are whatever you are, that's what I'm going to call you.
Wow.
Okay?
All right. Well,
I don't care what color skin you are. If you're an N-word, you're an N-word, okay? So,
point taken. But I want to know what you see for the future of Greater Cleveland Cop Block.
Sunny skies, really, because it's taken off. I mean, there's with all the attention now, it's just like it's been taken off. I've got, that's the funny thing about this sign thing, okay, is because I did a checkpoint video with Parma last month, which it seems as though there are two different crews working the checkpoints, okay? And the one last month, they were nice. They invited me inside the cones to film the inside the, I got close-ups of the testing equipment and all that stuff. They explained the testing equipment to me and stuff like that. They offered me pizza. I offered them water. It was like a mutual respect thing. This thing on Friday night was just a witch hunt, If you follow the logic from September of 2012 up through now, it's almost a pattern of harassment at this point.
We have to leave it there. We're coming up on, we have to step away for a moment, Dio, but I want you to hold that thought. We're going to be talking about how you can engage in cop blocking. We'll get some tips from Dio, the expert from the Greater Cleveland Cop Block. Check him out on Facebook, and you probably have a website too, right?
Yeah, there's OhioCopBlock.org and, Greater Cleveland Cop Block on YouTube and stuff,
This is
too.
PNN. We'll be right back.
Ross Ulbricht was arrested by the FBI in 20...
Excellent. Hey, Dio.
Yeah.
Excellent. That was awesome. I'm glad you just got the websites out, and I'll put those up on the screen for people to see. It's can you repeat them one more time?
Yeah, I got Greater Cleveland Cop Block on Facebook and YouTube, and then there's OhioCopBlock.org. It's part of that Liberty Alliance thing with the whole, they have, Nevada has one with them too, and,
Cool.
Those guys.
What's it, like a branch off of the main Cop Block page or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how all that technical stuff works, but it's like that Liberty Alliance is like the server for all the .orgs, I guess.
Cool. And I see Officer James Manzo, badge 585.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Scary dude.
No, he ain't that scary.
You weren't afraid?
I'm from New Jersey, man. I grew up and going to New York. That shit doesn't bother me.
Me too. I have, sometimes I do get afraid, to be honest, but I'm from New Jersey as well, and I feel like better equipped than most to walk into a bad situation.
Yeah. That's exactly that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, this is like these are baby games. What I'm more scared of is what they plan on doing next. Like a no-knock raid, shooting my dog, some shit like that. That's what I'm worried about next.
Yeah, are you afraid of like retribution? You think they're going to shoot your dog?
Well, that's the retribution I'm worried about specifically, is that if they try to, because I don't do anything illegal, so the only thing that they would be investigating is my activism.
Right.
So, I mean, if they want to catch me with a dime bag of weed, that's about all they're going to get.
Yeah.
So that being said, if they, who knows how far they're willing to take this? Are they going to go claim that they have some informant that said I did something, and now they're, no-knock raiding my house? My dog is going to be the first one shot, and then, I tell everybody the cop that shoots my dog is a dead man. Okay, because
it's
I'm
a
not
member of the family.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm not just going to take that. I'm not just going to sit here and just accept being no-knock raided and fucking, just abused like that. I'm not going to just sit here and take it.
Wow. Well, that's a big topic along the in the Liberty community right now. Is when is retributive force justifiable? And sounds like you've drawn a line in the sand.
Anybody that comes in my house is going to meet my 9. That's all. I got a 9 and my wife got a 380, so those are the two things you're going to be looking at when you come through my fucking door.
It's really weird. That was one of the topics that I wanted to talk about today, Dio, which is how counterintuitive it is that having guns means less violence happens. You know, just because, I think because the cops know.
Can't, man.
What's that?
Can't.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's because the cops know that if they knock raid a house like yours, that likely there will be that there could be return fire, and they just don't want a situation like that. It's too dangerous for them. They'd rather do it in court or do any kind of legal proceedings they need to. Anyway, we're coming back in 30 seconds. Get whatever kind of water you need or anything. I'm gonna cool off over here, and we'll be back in 20 seconds.
Do you know who Paula is?
What? I'm trying to give you some information.
You've given me the information. You said the world's going to collapse in less than a week.
I'm going to start drinking now, and I'm not coming out of it until after July's over.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
What do you think about what's going on with Dio? Was he right to be cited by the police? Was he doing the wrong thing by telling drivers to turn away? Share your thoughts. 443-424-8347. Right now, our Skype line is tied up with, we're speaking with Dio, so you can't Skype in at the moment, but you can call in. Hi-Fi Civ Dis is the number. Dio, I wanted to ask you, what sort of tips, since you have established a lot of CopBlock organizations around the Ohio area, you must have some tips for newbies.
Yeah, my whole thing is to make sure that you get out there and be seen so that these cops can't claim that you got a weapon, or if you do have a weapon, make it known. I mean, just if you feel the need to open carry while you do this, then go out there and do it. But make sure that you're known. Make sure that they know that you're there and you have a gun and you have a camera and this is what you're gonna be doing. You don't want them to be mistaking anything you're doing, because that puts them on edge. So if you can alleviate that off of it, you're better off and they're better off.
I've heard about some people putting out a press release before they even participate in some activism like that, like the Greater Cleveland CopBlock will be out at this DUI checkpoint doing some activism, blah, 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 just saying what you're going to be doing, getting that into the local paper. I mean, there's no way the police could touch you then, right?
I don't know. I kind of like to rather spring it on people, like I said, Parma Police knows who I am. I made it known who I was, so, there's no excuse. They can't say that they didn't know who I was or what I had or anything like that, because it's already out there. It's known. I don't open carry when I go do this. I can't. I have a felony record. I can't go and just do that. Like other people can. So I'm just saying that for the people that do have the ability to do it, just make sure that they know what you're doing. That's all. I'm not going to personally go out there and say, I'm going out this particular night unless I plan like a whole thing and try to get people from all over the state to go to one particular city at one night or something like that. That's the only kind of notice I like to give them about what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's, hey, I'm walking the streets and if I see what I see, How
much of an investment, like, let's talk dollars. How much does it cost to be an activist like you?
It costs far more than dollars. There is no dollar amount that you can put on the invasion of your privacy, the possible retribution that comes with going na to the cops. I mean, you're gonna sit there and tell me that you don't think that they're gonna do something about that? They're not gonna like that. They're gonna try to do something to you about that. They're gonna try to use any excuse in the book to nail you.
Let's talk about that. What do you say to critics who say, "Hey, you're poking a tiger"? What do you expect?
Yeah, well, I don't do like what other people do and like go up there and start getting in their faces and start talking shit and everything. I basically wait for them to come to me. So You know, it's I stand back and film, and when they speak to me, I determine the level of respect in their voice when they speak to me, and I give them the same back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We know you carry your video camera and your sign. What other sort of gear do you have with you? Do you wear a CopBlocker gear?
Yeah, I got a shirt. I got my badge. I also just got my badge tattooed on my back. So.
Whoa! All right. So you're not forgetting that at home.
No.
Pretty cool.
I got a press pass. I got a, you know, I go out with the press pass and the badge attached to a lanyard wrapped around my neck with a CopBlocker. I got a hoodie. I got a, you know, a shirt. I got to get some more stuff because, you know, it's getting hot. Shirt sleeves are coming off pretty soon. So
that's right. Now
I need something back for winter again.
You said that you've been to jail before. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would you be willing to go to jail for filming activism, for recording the police?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much of a choice, man. If I'm out there and it happens, it happens. You know, the Cleveland police have all been notified by their mayor that citizens have the right to film, so it really shouldn't be an issue here in Cleveland. You know?
Absolutely. How do you determine what the laws are, or if you're acting within the law? Are you even sure when you're out there?
How the hell can you be sure, man? There is how many goddamn different law changes every day? What are you gonna do? You know, I ain't no genius. I can't be keeping up with this shit on a daily basis. You know, it's whatever it is. I go out there and they tell me what it is, basically. You know, well, I don't believe anything. I mean, I don't believe anything I see and only half of what I hear. So it's not like, you know, anybody's telling me anything I believe anyway.
Cool, man. Well, we've got some callers on the line who are trying to connect, and I don't know what the issue is. Some have left some voicemail messages over the past couple of seconds. I'm going to play one. We'll see if they've got questions for you.
I don't want to hog it, man. You need to pick somebody up.
No. This is a caller from Portland, Oregon. Let's see what they have to say. I don't know why. I can't make it play. Sometimes tech stuff doesn't work so perfect. Well, anyway, you were spouting your websites before, and you were talking about how there's one major website that sort of unites all of CopBlocker. Do you blog there? Like when you have a police encounter, how do you report it to the people?
You know, I started with a Facebook page, and that's where I start, is the Greater Cleveland CopBlocker Facebook page. So anywhere from there is kind of like bonus or extra. If I feel something needs to get out there or something, I'll go to, you know, I'll post it on all the different Ohio CopBlocker pages first, and then, you know, if I still think it needs more attention than that, I'll go to post it on, you know, I've recently been made an admin on the CopBlocker Facebook page, to some people's chagrin, but I've made a difference on there and tried to put stuff up on there too and everything. So, you know, I try to answer the messages on there with a little more of a personal flair rather than just you know, the standard thank you for your email and go to copblocker.com, you know,
right,
or .org. So
it really seems like Cleveland and Ohio in general is one of the worst places for police abuse. Is it just that there are more people focusing their video cameras on the police there? Is it just as bad everywhere, or is it really extra bad in Ohio?
Me personally, I don't see it that bad. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. There's been police murders here. It's not, you know, it's not Disneyland, but as far as like personal liberty goes and stuff like that, Ohio is kind of like a on the fence type of deal, especially, right, you know, Cuyahoga County, especially where Cleveland is a lot different from Cincinnati, where, you know, their county is and stuff. It's almost like two totally different areas. But as far as Cleveland goes, it's personal liberty kind of is sort of respected here. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of big push around here to take anybody's guns away or anything like that, so we got that going for us.
So do you have a court date for this citation that you received? Can folks
25th.
follow along? Okay, it's the 25th of this month?
Yeah, but I'm going to be at PorkFest, so
all right!
attending that.
Okay, so filing for an extension of some kind, I hope?
Yeah, we're going to file until the cows come home. I really don't care if this lasts 3, 6, 9 years. They can blow me for all I care.
Well, what would be justice for you?
Be justice for me is to get my goddamn sign back.
Oh, well, that's right. They took your sign.
Yeah.
I mean, that's criminal. That's stealing.
I spent a lot of time on that shit, too. That wasn't just like a throw some stuff together kind of thing.
No, it's a professional-looking sign. It's one that, it's not like some people go out and cop block with a whiteboard so that they can change the message any given moment. This was like a professional, shiny white
had
sign.
The money.
Yeah. Well, so what would be, not just for this situation, but what does justice look like to you with Ohio cop block?
I mean, justice with the police in general, to me, like nationwide, could be there would be a lot better rapport between the citizens and the police, for example, if they just made sensible laws. I mean, there's not a lot of sense in what's on the books right now.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like when it comes to speak about Ohio and open carrying and nobody really having too much of a problem with that, but try carrying a knife. I mean, I was a Boy Scout. You're always supposed to have a knife on you. So for me not to have a Leatherman or a Swiss Army knife on me is just stupid.
Is that because you're disarmed because of your past in legal land?
Yeah. All I got is a knife at this point, so leave me the hell alone, What am I supposed to use, harsh language?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to bust your balls or anything. I'm just saying that's rough.
Yeah.
That's totally unfair. Well,
Yeah.
People can support you at ohiocopblock.org. You're also the Greater Cleveland Cop Block on Facebook. Our guest has been Dio. Thanks so much for being with us, Dio.
Sure.
Coming up, we're going to talk about how you can keep yourself safe with police interactions. Plus, Michele 7 has a special news report about Bitcoin and the Beltway, all coming up in Hour 2.
Listen, you've heard the commercial.
All right, Dio, thanks again. I really appreciate you being on. This will broadcast, well, it's broadcasting live, but then the video will be up on YouTube in about an hour. So looking forward, I'll post that to you on Facebook.
Yeah, you want me to stay around? You want me to go into another thing? Or, I mean, we didn't really talk about the spreading it out to Ohio and all that.
We can talk about that if you want. Yeah, go to it.
It's up to you. Like I said, I don't want to hog it on anybody. If you got other people waiting to call in, it's up to you. It's your show.
Yeah, I got to get, my calls weren't working correctly, so I've got to spend this commercial break figuring out why that is. But I really appreciate your time, and I thank you so much for your words.
Sure.
All right,
no
cheers.
Problem. Okay, later.
800-281-6030. 800-281-6030. That's 800-281-6030.
Hey, and all of you out there in listener land, now would be a great time to send a donation to Peace News Now. You can do that with Bitcoin using the QR code you see on your screen. Every donation helps.
Details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Have you ever wanted to move to the land of Libpair? Libertarian paradise, where there's fun for everyone that doesn't initiate force on others, fun for the kids, parties for the adults, buy and sell in silver or Bitcoin, scenic hikes and gun shoots, speeches to educate us all. The Porcupine Freedom Festival is Libpair in the White Mountains of New Hampshire for a week this summer, June 22nd to 29th. Get your tickets now before there's no more room. PorcFest, the event of a lifetime. PorcFest.com. That's PorcFest.com.
More Peace News Now is coming up next, live after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your source for daily news and activist updates, online at thelibertybeat.com. I'm Brian Hagan with your Liberty Beat for Tuesday, June 17th, 2014. Gold opened today at $1,264. Silver opened at $19.56. And Bitcoin is trading at $591.03. Support for Liberty Beat comes from Affordable Sound,
CD and DVD duplication for all your print and audio duplication needs. Mention promo code LIBERTY and get 5% off all DVD and CD duplication jobs. Online, affordablesound.com, or call them up at 512-459-5253. And support comes from Voice and Exit, maximizing human flourishing through radical innovation. Tickets on sale now. Get 10% off with promo code FREEDOM. June 21st at Austin Music Hall. Get yours at voiceandexit.com. Demonstrators burned an American flag near a stadium in northern Brazil Monday, protesting imperialism just hours before the U.S. soccer team's opening World Cup match. Protesters also used bricks and construction debris to smash the windows of at least 3 banks in the downtown region. The violence precedes Vice President Joe Biden's plans to attend the U.S. soccer game. The high cost of the World Cup spurred protests throughout Brazil last year, but officials say riots have been much quieter this year. The terrorist group Al-Shabaab killed at least 50 people in Kenya, executing men in front of their families after admitting they were Christian. That word from the Daily Mail. Some were attacked after gathering to watch the World Cup. The Somalia Al-Qaeda-linked terror group declared Kenya a war zone, warning tourists to travel at their own risk. The group said they launched the Sunday night strike in retaliation for Kenya sending its forces to Somalia and accusing Nairobi of assassinating Muslim scholars. Kenya officials denied the allegation. Witnesses say gunmen went door to door asking residents if they spoke Somali. If the answer was no, they were shot dead. On Friday, Vice President Joe Biden will visit Guatemalan President Otto Perez Molina and senior officials from Honduras and El Salvador to discuss the massive influx of child migration into the United States. A senior administration official told reporters Sunday there's a misconception among parents in some Central American countries that children arriving in the U.S. illegally will be allowed to stay. They are ineligible for the Obama administration's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which can defer deportation for some arriving illegally, said the official. Support for Liberty Beat comes from The Corey Moore Show, live Friday nights, 9 o'clock Central at CoreyMooreShow.com. And support comes from Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Incorporated, specializing in precious metals since 1977. They don't feed the banks by taking credit cards, but you can bet they take Bitcoin. Online at rrbi.co. or by phone at 800-874-9760. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, June 17, 2014. Check out the website at thelibertybeat.com. A new international organization dedicated to protecting whistleblowers launched with a campaign to ensure the safety of NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden. The Stand with Snowden campaign kickoff was held in Berlin last week at the official launch event for the organization known as Courage. With Edward Snowden's one-year asylum in Russia coming to an end July 31st, Courage is approaching sympathetic governments, encouraging them to support the whistleblower. Snowden called the new organization a rapid response team for global democracy that will give truth tellers and the public a tool to rally and support those who risk harm in order to release valuable information. Kyrgyzstan, a nation bordering China and residing south of Kazakhstan, has become one of the first countries in the world to ban all genetically modified crops and the sale and importation of GM food. China has made similar moves, including rejecting 8 different shipments of GMO corn. The Kyrgyz members of parliament said they intend to police the borders for GMOs. If any are found, they will be either refused or destroyed. The country also intends to ban tobacco and alcohol advertisers. A Japanese study found that those who spend most of their day staring at electronic screens suffer from changes in their tear fluid, similar to those with a disease known as dry eye. Those who stare at screens most of the day reportedly lacked a protein responsible for keeping the eye moist. People with dry eye tend to be less productive and are more likely to suffer from depression. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from Central Texas Gunworks, home of one of the first Bitcoin ATMs in the country, where you can buy and sell Bitcoin. Visit the ATM at 321 West Ben White Boulevard, number 203. And support comes from Cabo Bob's, non-GMO chips, homemade tortillas, and no high fructose corn syrup in anything. Online, CaboBobs.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, June 17th, 2014. I'm Brian Hagan reporting.
In Baltimore, the streets have gotten safer thanks to the success of the new Permanent Daylight Initiative, which aims to prevent crime by illuminating the entire city 24 hours a day using high-powered floodlights.
It's just that it's so bright all the time, even in the rain.
City officials say there have been 0 violent crimes since the start of the program, except for one man who vandalized the light by throwing his body off a building into it. Now let's set our crosshairs on to Mountain View, California, where Gmail servers were down for nearly 2 hours today. In an online statement, the company said, "Tremble before Google. With the mere flip of a switch, we can bring you to your knees." After reestablishing service this afternoon, Google changed its logo and released a statement saying, if not appeased with a 20% increase in Google Chrome downloads by the next vernal equinox, they will take back their generous gift unto mankind of colored conversation labeling. All right, you can take off your helmet. You have survived the news blitz.
This is the Onion News Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to Peace News Now. This is Hour 2. We are live Tuesday, June 17th, 2014, broadcasting from Keene in the Shire. You can dial in 443-424-8347, or better yet, Skype Peace News Now, because I'm having some weird issues with connecting via phone. I don't know, sometimes Google and Linux don't play nice, and I'm using Linux to connect to my phone. So you can dial in, go ahead and try it. If you don't connect, leave a message and I'll be happy to play it for our audience. So you still can get your message across to those listening. Still to come, we'll be talking about an assault that happened today in Keene, in which I was the victim. Not terrible, it's not anything like what it sounds, but I think it's worth examining what sort of behaviors adults in this world engage in. We were showing the video earlier of the young girl who was taunting the religious man who was just enjoying his freedom of speech, speaking out against gayness, and she got beat down by the police. So it's all this violent rhetoric, all of these threats to violence, and people using violence to solve their problems. Well, yes, I was the victim of one such person who thinks that violence is a way to solve problems. And I'll be playing the video for you to come. But first, we're talking about neutralizing DUI checkpoints. We had Dio on the line. He's from the Greater Ohio CopBlocker. Michele 7 will also be joining us. So here's my video. Here's what I encountered today while I was walking down the street. And this I blogged at freekeen.com. And I titled the article, first it was How to Act Like an Adult, and then I changed the title because I didn't want to come across as taunting or say that he was being childish, although one could make the argument. I just don't want to be a name-calling and stuff. So I said, Keene bully taunts and grabs at camera. Here is the video. So something interesting just happened. I was walking down the street as I'm leaving after this chalking event, and there were some people who made some comments about my shorts and about my purse, and I just wanted to get some video of them, because if people want to say something to me, if they want to communicate a message, I think they should have no problem being in public about it. So I don't know. Let's see.
Don't walk with that camera. That is illegal. I do not give you consent to fucking put any camera in my face.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Get it out of my face.
Get
it out of my face.
So this man is clearly threatening me. He's grabbed at my camera. This is not an appropriate way to act. That's a violent action.
No, violent action is not that. It's illegal to videotape. I do not give you consent. So.
You just grabbed at my video camera. You were about to break it, weren't you?
Nope. Let's stop harassing me.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty clear to anyone who saw what just happened here that this man was being a bully. And this is one way that we can react to bullies in the 21st century, is we can take out video cameras, show them how to interact with other individuals like adults, show them that if when they try and grab a camera, they're not going to succeed, and that they only make themselves look like aggressive fools. Now, I am going to put this video online, and I'm not asking the Keene police to do anything. I'm not asking them to take action. All I ask is that people treat each other with respect, like adults, they keep their hands to themselves, and that they don't grab things from other people. Cheers. So this is an interesting video to me. Yeah, this is some other videos from earlier in that day. This is interesting to me because New Hampshire is one of those states where the right to record is not even as ingrained in people's belief system as the right to bear arms. I mean, people are more comfortable with someone walking down the street with a gun in their hand rather than a video camera. Just an interesting observation about the culture here. Hopefully I can be a part of changing that, because I want people to be comfortable when they see a video camera. I want them to say, "From my better side, darlings." You know, what's so scary about capturing the photons that bounce off of your face? If you've got a message for the people of the world, well, what better way to say it than to say it into a video camera? So this man, he was taunting me. I can't even call him a man. He's a boy. Was taunting me, saying, "Oh, nice pink shorts," and "Oh, nice purse." And there was a girl. She actually started the whole thing, saying, "Oh, we know that you're filming us," is what she said. I actually wasn't filming at the time. Perhaps I should have been, but truth be told, I was not. So I turned my video camera on, recapped what had just happened, and then walked over to them because, you know, clearly they had a message for me. Obviously, when I turned the video camera on, their bravery and courage subsided. They had no more words for me, and then they wanted to say that I was harassing them. It's just interesting. This is what we get in the 21st century when you could use a video camera to keep yourself safe from bullies. Well, what would really happen? The reason I felt like I could walk up to a man who was clearly taunting, intimidating, and possibly violent is because I had a video camera. There's nothing he can do short of swallowing my ID to destroy the video. I mean, he could throw it on the ground, he could smash it into pieces, you'd still be able to get the video off of that camera. And so I've got his picture. There were other Robin Hooders, there were other people in the park who actually saw this happen and had their video cameras trained on him. So the best thing that could have happened, arguably, is he stole my video camera and broke it, and then found himself all sorts of damages, assault, and with a tool for accountability like a video camera, the world no longer has to rely on he said, she said. We can point to aggressors, shine our lights on them, and let them do what they're going to do. If there's an expression, you give people enough rope and let them hang themselves. Well, that's exactly what violent people get when they're faced with a video camera, because their actions, their methods of resolving conflicts using their fists, that's not going to look so good on camera, is it? And of course, the Keene police are already on the search for one of this guy's friends. James Michael Phillips is the man who assaulted Matthew Oldershaw, broke his neck in the park. Just a tragedy. And we don't want more violence. You know, I don't want more violence. I want to see everyone be able to get along, sing a Kumbaya song, and pass the peace. But these dudes, man, it just sounds like a little homophobia or xenophobia, like these people come from out of town. I don't know. What do you think about it? Are the Stop Free Keeners justified in trying to kick out this dangerous influence with all these shocking and Robin Hooding and dangerous ideas about freedom? Or are the Stop Free Keeners just serving as a foil to help amplify the message of Free Keene? Time will tell, but I was encouraged by the fact that StopFreeKeene.com, a website that has recently sprung up to blog about the activities of Free Keene, was blogging about me and the article I wrote on FreeKeene.com about Graham Coulson being incarcerated. You know, they're spending a lot of time and attention reading what I'm writing and watching the videos I produce. I've made this argument before, but it's worth repeating. There's not too much difference between a hardcore hater and a hardcore fan in this respect. I mean, I don't know even if my hardest core of fans have written blog posts about my blog posts and continue to do so. See me on the street and want to take pictures. They want to come to my home and take pictures about where I live, ask me a dozen questions. I mean, I've never felt like more of a celebrity than the Stop Free Keene people building up their blog. So this is fascinating. Of course, it's all peaceful, and that's the way I want to keep it. You know, if this man's going to throw fists at me, well, then I guess I'm going to get a black eye. And that'll be that. But I don't engage in violence. So if I want to be clear to those listening, if this man were to assault me, like come at me swinging, I would do my best to run and film, but I would not swing back. I am not a fighter. I'm a lover. What about you? Call in. You can make your thoughts known. Skype us at PeaceNewsNow. We'll be right back with a story from Michele7 of Michele7.com and Bitcoin Bell on Twitter. This is Peace News Now.
Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization. At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary at fpp.cc, as well as weekly news in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com. The monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc and books at shop.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Instead of just listening, you can also watch. See the Liberty Radio Network's key New Hampshire-based live shows via our studio cam at cam.lrn.fm. Plus, you'll still be able to listen to the Liberty Radio Network via the cam feed in high quality 24/7, even when there's no live show being produced in our Keene studio. But wait, there's more. Our chat room is built into the cam page so you can interact with other listeners online. Listen, watch, and chat, all free at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.
Yeah, we are connected.
See, a little bit of troubleshooting and everything goes right.
Yeah, it took a little bit of effort. So how are you doing?
I'm alive.
Okay, you're alive. You were visited by the FBI recently. Now, I don't want to stay on this line. I'd like to connect over Skype. Is that possible?
Sure.
Okay, I'll call you.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Bye.
Yep.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on? You know what? I should add you to the list of VIPs who can join on video. Do you ever do video? Do you have a webcam?
That's what I broadcast for Unity Evolved is on the Google Hangouts.
Rad. So you're on episode 4 now, huh?
Yep.
Congratulations. How's it going so far?
It's touch and go. I think it's going to be more effective as a form of therapy than an information source. But I think the topics that we'll cover really do add to the conversation as far as the libertarian philosophy and the philosophy of non-aggression principle and so forth.
Well, I'm so glad you're doing that. Well, we're coming back in 30 seconds. Stand by.
For you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on air. Find out about giving to our Google AdWords campaign at amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Peace News Now. You can call in and tell us what's going on in the world of peaceful resistance where you're living. On the line, dialing in through Skype at Peace News Now is Liberty Phoenix, calling in from Chicago area, right? Chicago?
Correct.
All right, good. You're with us. So you were visited by the FBI recently. I heard that on Free Talk Live when you dialed in last night. Tell us how that's been going. What happened?
Well, it wasn't me personally. It was a roommate of mine. They went to his work and interviewed him, and he had a nice time explaining to his boss why the FBI was there. Then came home, let me know what they said, and I initially had...
So the FBI came to his work?
Yep.
That is so weird. Don't you think that's weird? Why wouldn't they come to his house? They're coming to his job? I mean, like, could you imagine the call from your boss, like, hey, Tim, yeah, the FBI is here. They said they want to see you. I mean, could you imagine? I would be fired immediately. They'd be like, what the hell is going on here? Were you intimidated? Were you afraid?
Yeah, I'm extremely embarrassed for that. I still am intimidated. I still am afraid. This is terrifying. I mean, I wasn't surprised about it. I mean, my initial reaction was kind of a little bit of pride, ignorant pride, maybe.
Okay, that's fair. So, are you in trouble? Tell you what, hold. I'm going to put you on hold. We need to reconnect somehow because we're talking past each other a little bit. To catch the folks up, and I'm going to try and reconnect with you, Liberty Phoenix. To catch the folks up at home, Liberty Phoenix called in last night to Free Talk Live, and he was saying that the FBI visited a friend, and I was saying, dude, do not talk to these goons. That is the #1 rule. You don't talk to the police, the FBI, if you don't have to. I mean, they have no power to make you answer questions. And talking to the police can never help you. I mean, maybe I hesitate to say never. Maybe there's that situation out there, but it's very unlikely. It's a remote, distant possibility that it will actually help you to speak with the police. In most cases, they are trained to seek out and prosecute criminals, and that's just that's not what they are doing. Oh, and it looks like Liberty Phoenix is, I don't know if he's back on the line or not. We'll try and reconnect again. But yeah, they are trained to find and prosecute criminals, and they think that you are one. So you have to watch your back. This is and Liberty Phoenix can sorry, we will get connected to him shortly, and I really thank all of my Skype listeners, or all of my listeners, for bearing with me as I endure what can be technical difficulties. I think it's almost time. We have enough calls and enough callers that I think it's time that I get myself a producer and have someone manage what happens with the calls, because I can't be talking about news and peaceful resistance and handling calls. I know some people are talented enough, like Ian can handle those calls, but even then, I think Free Talk Live has their own professional screeners. The bottom line, Liberty Phoenix, don't talk to the FBI. I recommended a resource on LRN last night, and I did that just by Googling don't talk to the FBI. We're going to try and accept this call. And nothing no can do. So sorry, we just lost that connection. I just can't do that right now. Maybe Liberty Phoenix will be able to join us shortly. Michele 7 is going to be our next guest, so we probably aren't going to have that happen. He can dial in. The 443 number is probably going to work. That's hi-fi civ dis, as in civil disobedience. Well, let's get back to this. Today I was using children's sidewalk chalk to make art in the park. A pretty innocent activity. I drew pictures of a smiling anthropomorphic heart, a picture of the earth, a picture of the park's gazebo and fountain, and I admit, that's kid stuff. You could say it's a waste of time, or it's immature, or it's stupid. I will take that. But I call it free expression. And I think it's one of the most beautiful and indomitable parts of the human spirit. And this is what I wrote at freekeen.com. Oh my god. Please stop calling on Skype because I can't answer your calls. And, okay, I'm just going to mute that computer. Sorry about that. Please stop calling on Skype and only dial in to our Hi-Fi Civ Dis line. I don't know why it's broken. I'm doing my best over here. But sorry about that. Thanks for trying to connect with us. We will take your calls on our Hi-Fi Civ Dis line. So I'll tell you what's immature. Bullying, name-calling, and stealing. So if you think sidewalk chalk is kid stuff, I say bullying is kid stuff. Because today, pro-chalk and anti-chalk people were interviewed by a national news crew about their ongoing chalk war and the Robin Hooding. They drew pictures for the cameras, but they were removed just minutes later by anti-chalk factions. They were replaced. We replaced them after, on top of the water-laden concrete, and it never works so well after that. You just can't draw the same pictures on wet concrete as you can with dry concrete. Chalk is designed to be on something dry. So while I was walking away from the event, the one girl outside of the Mexican restaurant said, we know you're filming us, and I told you how they taunted me and all that. Well, when I began recording him, you saw in the video, he wasn't so courageous anymore, was he? He came up to my camera and twice tried to grab it from me, but he was too slow. And that, I have to wonder, was he really trying? I'm not that fast. I'm not a trained fighter or anyone with special kinds of reflexes or anything. Maybe he was drunk. He could have been drinking out in the daytime. He was outside of a bar, so it could be that he had been drinking and maybe that slowed his reflexes. But I look forward to one day living in a world where adults can walk down the street without being harassed for the clothing they wear or the purses they carry. And I, for my part, will model the behavior that I want to see. I'll do it on camera, I'll do it in public, because some people just missed those lessons in their upbringing. And I really do pity this man. I have to say, this is not me trying to take a dig at someone. Heart to heart, I pity this guy. I wish he had a better upbringing. I wish he had more love in his life. And I'm speculating that he doesn't have love. But when you go around harassing people, that's an assumption that I'm going to make. It does start with keeping your hands to yourself. And what is the real solution here? Is it too late to change the hearts and minds of people who have grown up to become bullies? Do I have to reach out to young people and maybe become a big brother, big sister type person so I can interact with young people, influence them, let them know that they have self-worth and that they don't need to use violence to solve their problems? What is the solution? Well, for my part, it's acting like an adult, being a good role model, being the best role model I can. I hope that you're doing the same as well. Michele 7 will join us after this trip to the free market. We'll be right back on PNN.
Are you looking for an excuse to come check out New Hampshire this fall? You're invited to Keenvention. Keenvention is your chance to meet dozens of key liberty activists from across the Shire. You can explore the beautiful little city of Keene, discuss various forms of activism with seasoned veterans, do some Robin Hooding, and learn about making the move. Keenvention received rave reviews last year. If you missed it, visit keenvention.info for full video coverage of every speaker and panel. This year, Rich Paul is our first announced keynote speaker, and more are being announced now at keenvention.info. Join old and new friends and neighbors in Keene for Keenvention this October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets are available now at a special early bird price of just $40 via credit card or Bitcoin. That $40 price only lasts through PorcFest, so don't delay. Reserve your tickets now at keenvention.info. Visit keenvention.info for more, or look for our page and event on Facebook. That's keenvention.info.
If there was a place that liberty-minded people had been elected to political positions and rolling back government, would you move there? If freedom lovers had secured a 20 Would you move? Well, the time has come to sign the pledge at freestateproject.org. These things have happened in New Hampshire, and you can join us and help. freestateproject.org. Sign up now at freestateproject.org.
Thousands took to the streets to protest the NYPD's Stop and Kiss program. New Yorkers who've been stopped often say the encounters feel extremely intrusive.
Going through my pockets, throwing my stuff on the ground, kissing me on my neck and face. They push me up against the wall and start nibbling on my ear.
Joining us now is legal analyst Susan Hughes and Mark Brennan, a former police officer who has defended the Stop and Kiss program.
Look, it's one thing to kiss someone who you think might commit a crime, but these officers are just kissing people left and right with no probable cause.
If you've got nothing to hide, then it's not a problem. They just stop, ask where you're going, give you a gentle kiss or two, and let you go.
Mark, there have been examples, public examples, where these procedures have just gone too far. Let's take a look at a disturbing cell phone video that's been making the rounds on the internet.
Stop! Put your hands on your head. Oh, come on, man. They just kissed me 2 blocks ago. Come on, man. I didn't do anything. Shut the f*** up and let me kiss you.
Look, the cops can either kiss people now before there's violence, or they can be kissing a bunch of dead bodies at a crime scene.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who think like you? Liberty activists are joining the Free State Project, which is over 70% of the way to its goal of 20,000 participants. And they're already making the move to New Hampshire. The successes are piling up and are proving the Free State Project is a real movement and no longer just a great idea. When you're planning your move, consider Keene. Keene is famous for its civil disobedience and non-cooperation, and there's plenty of political opportunity as well. From demonstrations and vigils to outreach and volunteering, there's a lot going on in Keene. Keene is the liberty media capital of the world, with television, talk radio, and more, all originating here. Though it's more than just activism, with regular social events each week. See what's happening at freekeene.com and get connected with video, audio, free books, a forum, and activist tools you can download and use in your area at freekeene.com. That's freekeene.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
All right, breaking news from photographyisnotacrime.com, and this time it's good news. New York photojournalist wins $200,000 settlement from viral video incident. Let's play the clip and then give you the news story. Following raw footage and uncut video shows a professional video journalist who was unlawfully arrested and detained by Suffolk County Police in July 2011 while filming. He was filming the aftermath of a police chase. Though no police lines had been established, he moved a block away. The sergeant again approached him, and though he prominently displayed his press credentials, was standing in a location open to the public and did not interfere with the police in any manner. Remember we talked about that? He was handcuffed, taken into custody, and charged with misdemeanor obstruction of governmental administration. Hey, I've been charged with that before. Let's watch the video.
Where should I go, Sergeant?
Away.
Sergeant.
Go away now.
Sergeant,
go
where should
away
I go?
now.
Sergeant, I'm asking, where should I go?
Just go away. I don't care where you go. Go away.
Okay.
Go away. Go away.
Okay.
Give me this. What's your name?
Phil.
Philip.
You can see Philip is standing about 70 feet away from the
Because I want you to go away and not stand here and argue with me. Otherwise, you're about to get locked up. Away. All right? Leave. Leave.
So I can't film
no,
you.
leave.
Why can't I?
Leave. Because it's a current investigation and you're leaving. I'm walking That's away, why. Judge, I'm walking All right, away. you're going away. Okay, I'm walking away, but I'm asking you, Because where it's can I stand because it's an active scene and you're leaving. Okay, where can I stand All right, to no film place. me? Go away. No.
So this police officer is not being very specific about where he wants this gentleman to go. This, of course, he has the right to record. And look, this police officer is not concerned with his investigation at all. He is way more concerned with this man who is filming.
I mean, I'm not in the crime scene. Okay. Oh, should I call PIO and see what they want? For all I care, you're going away. Okay. You understand? I've been doing this for 30 years. There's nothing you can hold over my head or anybody out there. Go away.
Uh-oh, but he lost the settlement.
No. Okay.
Oh, he thinks he's so tough because he's been in the force 30 years. He wasn't ready for YouTube and people with home video cameras to hold him accountable.
Sycamore Avenue.
So this New York photojournalist won his $200,000 settlement stemming from this 2011 arrest that was caught on video. Oh, whoa! Here comes the cop car. Whoa! He drove up really quick.
I called PIO. They told me to go back to where the road's open. Put it down. Put it down.
Whoa!
You're under arrest.
Whoa! Are you kidding me? Did you see that cop car just come right up to that guy? He wasn't doing anything, just video recording. There wasn't even nothing in his field of view. That's amazing. So that cop clearly had a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't like accountability. And he says, I've been doing this for 30 years. Suffolk County Police Sergeant Michael Milton told Philip Datz, that's the man who was arrested, there's nothing you can hold over my head or anybody out there. Looks like he was wrong. All right, let's get connected to Liberty Phoenix here. Liberty Phoenix.
Hey, Derek, how's it going?
It's excellent. You're on the air and you sound wonderful. So good to be with you, Liberty Phoenix. Sorry about all the trouble before. I was sweating. I think I told you in the chat room. When technical difficulties happen, I melt down because I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should speak. I should go over to my computer. I need to invent. I need to get a producer. That's what I really need to do. So you were telling us about a story where the FBI visited a friend of yours at work, and you were like, hey, I think the right thing to do is to go answer their questions.
Yeah, that was my first response, as prompted by my roommates. They were like, yeah, you need to take care of this and get a hold of them and figure out what's going on.
Your roommates are crazy.
They were intimidated because they said that that apparently I had been in contact with a known threat. And who that could be is beyond me. Because lately, for the last 7-8 months, I've just been interacting with people in the Liberty movement that have decided to go to the Free State Project. I mean, this has been pretty much everybody that I've been talking to, and they're all nonviolent.
That sounds concerning to me, though. I wouldn't want to be engaging with a person who is a known threat.
Absolutely. The only thing that I can think of that would be in reference to would be the time that I was on the American Resistance Movement. And even when I was on there, that was about a year before I found the Liberty Radio Network. And then I was still completely, pretty much completely a pacifist. I did a short-lived podcast on there, and it was all about first aid and taking care of one another.
Yeah, so you really, maybe you are the threat, and you represent a threat to their legitimacy.
Yeah, they didn't say physical threat. Maybe it's a psychological threat. I mean, thought is the biggest, threat to the state that has ever existed. You change the way people think. You allow them to realize that they own themselves, and they don't need a permission slip to do anything. That you're gonna be an issue.
Hey, do you remember that quote? I heard it introduced to me through that band Rage Against the Machine, and it's in regards to Martin Luther King, where it was said about COINTELPRO, quote, through counterintelligence, it should be possible to pinpoint potential troublemakers and neutralize them. Do you believe that you're one of those potential troublemakers?
Well, you know, a lot of people that listen to the LRN network, they hear the commercials, and in one of the commercials, Daryl W. Perry is quoted as saying that he's always felt that he's been meant to change the world, or he's always wanted to change the world, and that's kind of how I feel. So absolutely, I reject the current paradigm. I see it for what it is. I can see the code if you want to put it in matrix terms.
Yeah. Hey, I think you should get your FBI file. Have you used getmyfbifile.com?
I have not.
I've heard of other people using it with some success. It's pretty easy. They make it easy on purpose. You can also get, like, I guess, CIA documents or whatever sort of ABC organization you've got with the feds. CIA, NSA, DIA, there's all kinds of three-letter agencies that they can help you with. But it's getmyfbifile.com, and it can take a while, but I think it's free, and all you have to do is fill out basically your name and your address, maybe your social or something, and then they send you back everything that they've got on you. Now, they may redact some of it. They may have black ink on top of the paperwork. In fact, they probably will, but wouldn't it be interesting to at least see what they've got?
That is something that is extremely that does extremely pique my curiosity. Kind of like the revelations that Glenn Greenwald was going to release the list of people that the NSA has been listening to. I was so excited because I was going to be like, oh my God, am I on there? Am I on there? And now, you know what? I don't really have to worry about that anymore. I guess I know.
Yeah, now you're on there. I was worried about that too, and that's why I've never used getmyfbifile.com, is because I was never sure, hey, maybe they don't have a file with me. In fact, one of the listeners in the chat room, Teabagger, says it could be called getmeonthefbifile.com, because
yeah, no kidding.
You may have not had one in the past, and then they're like, oh, who's this guy? Why is he looking up his records with us? Maybe we should neutralize him.
Yeah, the first thought that crossed my mind was it's like, oh, so let me log in and give them all my Facebook information. That way I can find out what Facebook information they have about me.
It's worth mentioning there's also a sister website called Get Grandpa's FBI File, and you can obtain FBI files for deceased individuals. That might be a good place to start. Maybe they've got something on your family. Maybe they've got something on you. I think it'd be worth checking out before you talk to them. You might want to know what they've got on you. This is Peace News Now. We'll return with Michele 7 after this. Stay tuned.
Oh, honey.
Family Today Tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your...
Hey, Michele, we are live, by the way. We're on a commercial break at the moment. I have you unmuted so people can hear you. And how you doing?
I totally love your casual thing that you got going on right now. It's sexy.
Yeah.
Oh, Motorhome Diaries. Do you know Motorhome Diaries was my introduction to outright activism.
To outright activism?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was the first video I did. It was I had only been on the internet or Googleable or whatever for about a year, and that started when I donated to Ron Paul, maybe 2 years. So up until the time I donated money to Ron Paul for his campaign, you couldn't find me anywhere. Nowhere, not by any name, anywhere. I had people look. There was no way to find me. I donated to Ron Paul, and then you could find me. You could find out how much I donated at different things and meetups that I went to, etc. And Motorhome Diaries was my first, like, strike back. It was my first thing.
Yeah, that was your video, YouTube, Google presence that was something positive about you, right?
Yeah, well, something that that I had some control over, and Jason Talley and Pete Eyre and Ademo Freeman, who I knew as Adam Mueller at the time, they came and visited me in Nashville, Tennessee, and interviewed me and hung out for overnight with the kids and me, and that's when we became friends, and it was awesome, back in like 2009. Yeah.
Well, you sound terrific, first of all. Second, I suspect that your microphone is in a position where it could be better. So I've got the Yeti do and don't here for you, and if you follow the handy guide, I think that will improve
Is that better?
Yes, that is better.
Oh, good, because and that picture was so great.
Yeah, exactly. You want to see.
I'm also really intoxicated.
Oh my! Well, it is late Tuesday evening. I'm getting there. I'll get there right after this show ends.
My friends and I almost decided to go trip.
Oh, hell yeah. That's fun. I would love that.
We're going to wait that for my, introductory experience. Well, I did once back when I was in high school. I took, a hit of acid, and I went to a Def Leppard concert, and it was great. But at the time, I was, a serious weed smoker, and it was nothing for me to smoke an eighth in a day of really crazy purple Kush beds and just be high out of my mind and drink a fifth and take a couple Valium and some speed. So I was a serious drug user, but at 13.
Different from those other drugs.
And that was at a Def Leppard concert, and I was hoisted on stage not once but 4 times. I feel like I'm really am I all shiny because I'm really sweaty? It's so hot here.
I probably.
Oh my God! It's 85 degrees in my apartment.
It's really hot here too. I got an AC for this studio. We don't have one right now, but it's cool enough in New Hampshire.
Do I look like I have beads of sweat flowing down my face?
No,
do I look like a menopausal middle-aged woman?
No, the people in the chat room say M7 a very sexy lady. So. We're coming back. We'll get into Bitcoin and the Beltway stuff.
Awesome.
Oh, and Liberty Phoenix is still on the line.
Can I smoke pot while I'm doing this?
Yes. That voice was Michele 7. We're at the end of the show. That means Michele 7 is joining us, and she just might smoke pot while on the show. It's allowed here at Peace News Now. We call it the Peace Pipe. In fact, I'll be waiting.
Did I say that on air?
On air, Michele. You said that.
I was asking permission because it's your show.
Well, it's not nice. Yes, you have my permission. Absolutely. I'd be insulted if you didn't. Now, enjoy.
So let's talk about that for just 1 second before I go get my utensils, because that's something that confuses a lot of people continuously who I meet that don't know me and haven't heard me blah blah blah. Because I do blah blah
stuff because they're like, Michele just does what she wants. She doesn't.
Well, you don't understand that anarchy doesn't mean no rules. It means no rulers. So I certainly don't want to do anything on your show because Peace News Now is Derek J's show. That is going to offend you or not be, good for your audience or whatever. So, so I ask permission for things just like I would if I were in your home.
Well, I appreciate it, and I think it's terrific. This is sort of my home. This digital home of mine.
So anarchy doesn't mean no ruler or no rules. It just means no rulers.
So while you get your utensils, I want to explain to the listeners that I'm having Michele on for this last segment today because she's going to be at a place called Bitcoin and the Beltway. That's happening in D.C. this week. There's going to be Davi Barker, Mad Bitcoins is going to be there, MK Lords, and lots of other big names in the Bitcoin community. Why are you excited about going, Michele?
Well, actually, I was just thinking about that before I came on because I'm going to be speaking. Did you know that?
No, you're a speaker. Oh, actually, I didn't know that. But that's exciting. So you're one of the big names that people are going to go see. Bitcoin Bell on Twitter. Because I knew you as Michele 7 first, so for the Bitcoin stuff, I don't always think about that. But that's sort of your new branding. You're a Bitcoin person.
Well, yeah, but M7 is coming out.
Coming out with what?
At Bitcoin in the Beltway. Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So you are Michele 7 is the activist, and Bitcoin Bell has been the Twitter pimp, and then the Twitter Bitcoin pimp. Not to confuse anyone.
Yes.
And now you're sort of melding the two at this Bitcoin.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, but at the same time, my I kind of laugh from time to time and say, oh yeah, I'm middle-aged, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, I've had really 2 lives. I had my life up until I had my children when I was 23. Like that was, I reached adulthood and I had a ton of experiences. And then I've had half my life being a mother, and my youngest is now out of the home and has his own wings, and he's left the nest and what have you. So I've had a full career as a mom, and I am madly, wildly passionate about freedom, and I've had that for myself, and I have enabled my children. And what I found more than anything over the course of the last 20 years of my life is that people call me mom. Not just my kids, but I'm a mom to lots of people. I'm a mom to people on Bitcoin GNO. I'm a mom to Pua, the Bitcoin wife. Who would have thought? I'm a mom to so many people, and the thing is what that means to me is a huge loving, wonderful burden of responsibility to mentor people, and the greatest thing I can mentor them in is freedom. And it's what's been most important to me, and it's what the legacy that I passed on to my children, and that what they've inherited from me. And I'm gonna go be a little disruptive, Derek.
Yes, you are disruptive in a good way, and I really like what you can bring to the Bitcoin and the Beltway crowd, because a lot of them are techies already, or if they don't know Bitcoin, they can figure it out on themselves. You're not a techie person, but you're an expert in freedom, and that's something they don't know that they need.
Well, I think that a lot of people, the wonderful thing about the tech community is that they've just I say, generalizations obviously break down, and I'm not, whatever. So what I found, though, with people who are really passionate about something in their life is that they're really involved in that. So they're busy. They're busy being a fisherman. They're busy being an athlete. They're busy being, learning tech and code. They're busy about what they're passionate about, and those are the people that I want to be around, and those are the people really who I find are the best, not easiest, but the best Bitcoin adopters, because you can relate to them on a level that is about things that are stellar, things that are perfect, things that are ideal. And I think that it ought to be our ideal that we be human, the best human. And the best human, what we have separate is a neocortex, the ability to choose. We have a will. In order to exercise that will, you have to have the ability to choose, and you have to have freedom. So without absolute 100% complete freedom, you cannot exercise being your humanity. It's like a butterfly not getting to flap, or an ant not getting to prepare for the winter. Whatever it is, it's like, no, I'm a human being, and what I possess that is different than every animal is a will. And so, yes.
I think it's kind of cool that technology can empower a human to be more human. Like, we're using technology of sound currency to trade freely with other individuals in a way that we just can't do with government money.
Well, it's not the government money. It's because those are two different things. There's the government, and then there's money. I mean, Bitcoin's money. The government's the problem. It's at 50% of that. Get rid of 50% of that, and then you don't have a problem. It's not government money. It's government. And, self-government, you and I we love each other. We're respectful of one another. We don't share the same beliefs about a lot of things. We don't share the same lifestyles in a lot of ways. We're in different socioeconomic age demographics. But what we do share and have from the very beginning is a mutual respect for one another, and that was the basis of our friendship, and it grew from there. So having money and transmitting things that are of value between two people or two entities or whatever, that's a positive thing. Government outside of self-government and voluntary interactions is completely immoral, and I'm going to go to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to let everyone know what I think about that.
It's weird that you say you're going to go to D.C. and you say that government is the problem. Do you see a contradiction in that?
In that I'm going to Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, and you're saying the government is the problem. Why wouldn't you stay away from D.C. if they're the problem?
Well, I'm going to where Jason King, I love you, Jason King, of Sean's Outpost, and your wife Leslie, and your kids. Yes, yes, yes. So, you know, he's done so much for Bitcoin and for humanity. If he were to die today, he leaves behind himself a huge legacy to himself, his country, if you want to put it that way, because he served in the military, to his wife, to his children, to his best friend, for whom Sean's Outpost is named. He fed 50,000 meals last year to people, most of whom were vets that have been deposited in Pensacola, Florida, without anything except for PTSD. Thank you, U.S. government. And thank you, taxpayers, for continuing to proliferate this absolute heinous existence that the United States has put upon the entire world. Fear. The United States has like invoked fear into everyone in the world. If you don't agree with us, we're going to crush you.
Let's get Liberty Phoenix's thoughts on this.
Michelle, I think you touch upon something that is extremely apropos and relevant to the entire liberty movement. The silent, the silent consent of the majority that they would continue to vote and continue to pay their taxes, I think, does.
Wait, whose taxes?
And that's the whole reason that the entire paradigm is possible to continue, because the majority of people out there, they don't want to know what's going on. They don't want to concern themselves. They want to enjoy being ignorant.
Wait, hold on, though. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Because I want to hear what you have to say, but if you could go back, because you say they don't want to pay their taxes. Words mean things. I don't have any taxes. I don't owe. I did not opt into that. I did not agree to that. My parents sold me into a social contract that I did not agree to. I reject that categorically. No, thank you. So, no, when you say you don't pay your taxes, they didn't pay their taxes. Excuse me? So if you can just go back there and like rephrase that, I could totally hear what you have to say, but I'm sorry. My ears just like closed at that point.
Catch Michele 7 Bitcoin Bell June 20th to the 22nd in Washington, D.C. Get your tickets online and save $100. BitcoinBeltway.com. That does it for this episode of Peace News Now. I want to thank all my guests and those who stayed with me. You can donate at donate.peacenewsnow.com. I'll see you Sunday.
Why did?
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Michele. Thanks, Liberty Phoenix.
Not a problem. And Michele,
I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just couldn't hear that.
I understand. Hey, what are you doing next Monday? I'd love to continue this discussion.
Next Monday. Well, I'll be back from D.C. Where you're in Arizona, Phoenix.
No, I'll be in New Hampshire next Monday. I'll be at Pork.
Everyone's going to Pork Fest except for Michele.
We'll miss you, Michele.
I know. Except for I now tonight, Derek, don't tell anyone. And wait, who am I talking to? Who's Liberty Phoenix? I'm sorry that I don't know.
Liberty Phoenix is a caller who has his own show, Liberty related, and he also calls into like every LRN show. And he has a high quality mic, so we don't mind. It's good to have him on.
Have we talked before?
Probably.
I have talked to you. I spoke to you about purchasing Bitcoin from you. I think I spoke to you and Derek on that day about buying some Bitcoin because I wanted to pay for my PorkFest registration in Bitcoin.
Oh, awesome.
Sorry, so difficult.
So, okay, Monday. Well, I thought that I was going to have something that was way more important than PorkFest or anything else that was going on. It had to do with one of my children, and that is no longer happening, and so I might make a surprise visit to PorkFest.
Woo! That should happen. Oh my gosh, because Mad Bitcoins and Chris Ellis are trying to get there.
Well, you know they're staying with me. They're staying at Seychelles.
Oh, how cool! Oh, that's so great. Take pictures, take video. I want to interview you guys.
Oh my God, we've had so much fun, and so yeah. So
looks great.
I'm bringing them back. I'm driving them back in the truck from DC.
Wow, that's going to be awesome. Well, I can't wait. I hope you take video. It's going to be amazing. Well, hey, listen, we got to end this episode. I've had a lot of fun doing this little extra bonus chat. Liberty Phoenix, many thanks to you for your persistence and your help getting their audio connections set up. And Michele, follow her at Bitcoin Bell on Twitter. She's going to be at Bitcoin in the Beltway. You can follow that at Bitcoin Beltway. BitcoinBeltway.com is where you can buy tickets. It's happening this June 20th to the 22nd. And then there's PorkFest.
We could do the acid at PorkFest.
Woo! I would love that. Oh my God, could we? Yes.
Well, I know Cody and I are supposed to be shrooming.
Oh, it's gonna be fun times at PorkFest. I can't wait. All right. We're gonna hula hoop and dance it up, and there's even more dancing happening this year, so I'm excited. And the big gay dance party happens at night.
Oh, guess what? I'm getting put in my living room. It's gonna be okay. So you see the drum set back there? Do you see my drums?
Yeah. What are you getting? Fog lights?
A stripper pole.
Are you kidding me? A stripper pole?
Lord.
You're amazing, Michele. I don't know how you do all the things that you do.
Oh my God!
You know what my
That's
house
the amazing
needs?
M7. What do you mean?
I need
Come
a
on, Derek,
stripper
don't
pole.
ever doubt it.
No, I just don't know anyone else with a stripper pole in their house, and this is just
We've got one.
very special. You've got one? I guess I'm the only one. All right.
All right. I love you, Derek. Good to see you. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.
Love you all.